This message is for caregivers of people with autism, non-verbal specifically, but it can be applied to anyone with a diagnosis of autism. The message though coming from Harry is my guide if you've only just tuned in. Harry and I work with all things health, mainly mental health, and autism has come up over the past few years. And he has been working with me on this concept of how non-verbal, specifically diagnosed autism is a portal for the spirit realm. So I just want to explain this in detail because it is a bit confusing. And it is for those caregivers. So either you're a parent or you have been overseeing the care of a particular person with autism. Now, this is more to do with children at this point, not grown adults, because it's the children that have been born within the last kind of 5 to 10 years, even though it's more 5 years than 10. These are the ones that Harry is looking at now, and there is going to be an evolution and transformation within this collective group. Very differently to everyone, but there is going to be a transformation, and it has got to do with the purpose of the caregiver. So what I want to explain is that up until now, you have been caring for this particular child, and okay, there has been some disappointments around your own life and how you're going to live it. Now that brings in a conflict. So the conflict has started within you, and so what this child is picking up on is the conflict within you, and then all of a sudden they have conflict around their own purpose, because their own purpose is huge. So and it's huge within the spirit realm. So within the spirit realm, these children are classed as royalty. So basically you are dealing with a spiritual royal. Now the thing is that they come to this planet, they come to Earth, and then they start to feel like maybe they're confused over this. Now they can't, like, nothing in the real world allows them to explain this and explain their feelings. But the thing is that they will and they can. So when there's conflict within you, as in there's some kind of disappointment in maybe the way that your life has panned out, because you feel restricted, then they also feel restricted in their purpose. So basically what is going to be transformed is you, okay? And so you, Harry is specifically working with different people, parents in particular, and also caregivers, that he's trying to move them out of conflict. So you're getting nudges around, if you haven't given up work yet, you're going to give up work, and you're going to move. So you're going to move into a more natural setting. Now, this is about you letting go of your expectations around your life. This is about you stepping into a major purpose that this child is basically a conduit for. So in the spirit realm, you know, we have different ways of connecting with various realms of spirits. Basically, you know, a lot of people can connect with ancestral guides, okay, which you as a parent or a caregiver, you probably can at this point. The thing is that this child can connect to an ascended master, and so has a huge purpose in the evolution and evolvement of health, mental health, and all things to do with depression and anxiety. So basically what's going to happen is you're going to it's almost like the child is the messenger from the ascended master to you, and then you turn around and live out this purpose through these messaging. So the child, as their purpose is specific, and it varies differently to the way everyone is going to show up and how they're going to help this particular energy evolve, and their use on this planet. Because basically up until now, in days gone by, a lot of people that were diagnosed with autism around Asperger's, and they were used in scientific kind of industries because they had this huge knowledge. Now this particular energy is going to be used in a very different way, which is totally and utterly connected and almost codependent on the spirit realm. So this is huge. It's not going to obviously happen overnight, but there is rumblings now. So whoever I'm speaking to, you've already got these rumblings. So what I want to go through is how like the small little steps in allowing this to take hold on you and your child's life. So basically, first of all, the conflict has to stop. Now, with this conflict within you, and there is no judgment. There is no judgment from the spirit realm. There is definitely no judgment from me. So please just don't take this personally. But this is just happening as a collective energy that people are starting to now more or less self-sabotage because of the disappointments that they feel. So maybe you have gone on some kind of antidepressants. Maybe you have numbed yourself in some way. Maybe you drink a little bit or whatever, right? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter, and it doesn't have any bearing on what's to come. The only thing that needs to happen is that needs to be cut back, because that child is communicating with a very clean source. So basically, you need to match this clean source. You need to understand that for this messaging to come through to you, you are going to have to sit in a very clean energy. Now, if that takes time for you to achieve this and for you to work towards it, that's fine as well. Like, you don't have to do this. Does not happen overnight. Okay, this is a lifetime. This child is going to be here for a lifetime, and you know that. So this is a process, and this is an unbelievable celebration. Once you take this first step and acknowledge the fact that this is what's going to happen, there is a lot of celebration within the spirit realm because of your ability to see how patient and unbelievably deniable that this child's purpose is in your life, and why this child came into your life for in the first place. So basically, that's the first thing, to get out of conflict, to get into clean energy. And most of you probably are in clean energy at this point, but some of you may not be. So that's the first step. Now, if you are, then what's going to happen is that you're going to look at the way the child kind of behaves in certain environments. So, and you've probably already done this because you've been around this child's life for forever, right? So you know this child very, very well. But the thing is that the system, and this is what has brought this awakening to you, is that the system that you have been involved in has tried to numb this child into a container that it's not meant to be in. And this is why the spirit realm is now kind of coming into play and going, no, these children are not meant to be in this container. They're not meant to be numbed. To call them Joe Average is an absolute insult to basically anyone in the spirit realm, or anyone that works with the spirit realm in this capacity. So basically, they are not meant to go to mainstream school. Sorry. And to say then to put them in another school that kind of taints them as somehow special, and then go, oh, well, we'll just give them ordinary tasks. No, these children are meant to be learning how to communicate non-verbally through and being a conduit. So maybe cards is very important. If you want to learn meditation at any point, and this child then can communicate through these meditation channels towards you. I kind of feel like cards are a really good way to communicate because cards are not used. For me and Harry, we use them as transformational growth. We don't use them as a predictive thing, although you can predict outcomes through transformation and growth. So basically what's going to happen is you're going to use some kind of tool to be able to connect with your child. So but this is not just, okay, get out a pack of cards, put them on the table, and that child is going to flick them, right? There is a process in getting to that point. So basically you have to meet the child on their level where they kind of want to be and where they are very content, relaxed, almost like in a meditative state as well, but not numbed. So this is normally within nature, because what is happening is the child is put in a very busy environment because the parents are busy. Obviously, they're up against it. They're in survival. They're trying to live, plus they're trying to look after the child. So basically, maybe once a week, you take this child out. You sit with this child in absolute nature. So and there has to be there only is noise of nature. So natural wildlife, all that kind of stuff. No streaming, no speaking, no nothing. So basically, the child is put in this environment, and over time, this child is going to also release the noise in its head, because over these last 5 years, 10 years, there's been a lot of confusion around this child about their own messaging, because they can't hear Harry, they can't get to Harry, and this has been very, very frustrating for these kids, because they were here for it. They're here for their purpose. They know that, but everyone keeps getting involved and trying to numb them into a box that they're not meant to be in. So it's very important for this once a week. Now I want to make this very, very clear. The purpose is around whoever is this constant caregiver. So if the constant caregiver is the mother, great. If it's the father, great. If the constant caregiver is somebody that comes from an agency and has got an absolute very strong relationship with the person, then, or the child, then that's the person, and this message needs to be relayed to this person so they can kind of get into this and start this process happening. Now, over the next kind of 6 months, there's going to be a change within this child. So you are also, because you're coming from clean energy, you're also going to be able to pick up on things that before you couldn't see. And you are now being able to communicate in a way that you start to understand your pathway. So basically, and this pathway obviously has to do with kids. It has to do with autism. It also has to do with kids that are being born right now who have got psychic abilities that are going to be labeled as special. So you will see how this starts to evolve in a very different way. You not only start to work with your own children, but that is almost a prototype. Now, what he did was he brought me in this picture of Harry Potter. And basically the family that Harry Potter was sent to when his parents died. So basically what the child feels is that the child is in that, and he feels like they're just dealing with a bunch of muggles and like, what am I confused here? So just because the child can't speak doesn't mean the child it doesn't have a purpose on this planet, because they so do. So basically, if you haven't watched Harry Potter, make sure you go out and watch it, especially the first one, and start to draw parallels into the way that this child feels and Harry, because as you move forward and evolve, you're going to see this child's gifts in a very, very different way, because you're not trying to push them into a box and a container. All of a sudden they flourish and they lead. This is the whole thing. They're leading because their portal is from an ascended master. So, and they're here to transform and evolve this planet in a very different way. So basically, you as a caregiver, you have a brilliant pathway ahead of you. But this is little steps, right? This is a lifetime of learning and progress. The main thing is that you're disappointed with the system. You're disappointed with how, you know, your child is trying to be, and this is more for non-verbal, to tell you the truth. Your child has been put in a category, and that's it, right? Like they're done. That's not true. And you're going to see how untruthful that label actually is as you move forward. So I'm very excited about this message. When he said, now you can do the video, this is Harry, I got very excited because he's been explaining this to me over a number of years, and so obviously the time now is right to step out with this messaging, which I'm grateful for. So I'll probably do another video, another update as things start to come through, but I congratulate all of you, and I really am looking forward to how this particular group in this tribe starts to evolve. Their spirit gifts start to evolve on the back of being associated with almost a messenger from an ascended master sitting in their kitchen, which is amazing. And I'm sure a lot of documentaries are going to be made about this as we move forward over the next kind of 5 to 10 years. So I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to seeing how this evolves for you. Stay patient, celebrate your child, and understand that they have a huge purpose in your life, and so do you. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.